I'm prepared for all of my reenactment friends to hate me after this take, but what if I told you that Kastenbrust armor was just the Cybertruck of the 15th century? Kastenbrust is a very distinct style of armor that emerges in the early 15th century in the Holy Roman Empire, generally considered a predecessor to the High German Gothic style. The name Kastenbrust literally means box breast, and refers to this very unique rectangular shape of the breastplate. Though as far as I know, Kastenbrust is a little bit of a neologism. It doesn't appear in any of the primary sources contemporary to these pieces, but is rather a later term invented to discuss this typology. In addition to the signature box breast, some other elements of this style of armor that are kind of considered part of the package could include the long falds, or that sort of like metal skirt thing you see that we sometimes call a tonlet, as well as this bicoque helmet, which is a type of bassinet, and that it still has that kind of pointed apex at the back, but in this case it includes a gorget for throat protection, as well as that rounded visor. Now, as is the case with most armors of this period and earlier, we just don't have a lot of surviving examples, even if we do have a lot of illustrated ones. And the surviving examples we do have that are classified as Kastenbrust don't have that really pronounced rectangle shape that we see in so much of the illustration. However, even so, these examples are classified as Kastenbrust because they share those secondary characteristics, such as the longer falded skirt and the protrusion right where the rectangular ridge would be. In another surviving example, we do see more of that rectangular edge, but it is a lot more rounded than we see in the art. So it does beg the question how widespread this style was. Do we not see any examples because there weren't that many of them? Did they never exist? But given their prevalence in art, I have to believe that these were actually a thing. But we have to keep in mind that these were in fashion for a very short period of time, relatively speaking. We see these depictions for about a 50-year span of 1410 to 1460 with some exceptions. And there has been some discussion of their efficacy in terms of like, oh, is it easier to joust in them because that ridge gives you a little bit more of a place to rest your arm? Do the flat surfaces impact the glancing abilities of these breastplates, which is why we see a return to those domed, globular breastplates later on? My personal take is that this was fashion. Again, much like the Cybertruck, someone probably thought, what if we rethought the breastplate? Why does it have to be circular? Why does it have to be round? Why can't it be pointy? And so they experimented, found it didn't do a bad enough job that it was immediately thrown out, but just fell out of favor over time. And again, I think that's the magic of armor, is that not only was it military technology, it was fashion.